Hello, welcome back. I'm Sam and this is the SC Classics YouTube channel. Hello, welcome back. Monday morning in the workshop, and I've got something a little bit different in today. I have had this car in previously. I didn't film anything on it because I'm a terrible YouTuber, but basically this had a catastrophic engine failure. If I've still got the photo of what we found in the sump, tuck them hairs in, need a haircut. If I've still got the photo of what we found in the sump, I'll post it somewhere up here. It was quite catastrophic. Basically, it had a liner at some point and the liner had dropped, looked like it had gone through the crankshaft and was in the sump. So the owner sourced a rebuilt engine and I swapped everything over, fitted it to the car. We refitted all his inlet manifold, his turbos, everything all cleaned out. Thankfully I cleaned the inlet manifold out because that was actually full of bits of liner as well. So was the turbo, everything. Well, there was nothing in the turbo, there was just plenty of oil. So everything got cleaned out, got put back together. We swapped all these sensors over from his old engine, distributor, everything, and it's running. So he's took the car away and he's put some running miles on it. He's put just over 500 miles on it. He's changed the oil and filter himself, and it's come back because it needs a few tweaks, but I'll show you what I'm doing with the car anyway and what I'm fitting. Before I get into the video, please like, share, subscribe and hype, and also thank you to the members Tangaluma Life, Tugs W and Money Pit Cars. As ever, your support is appreciated. Sorry I left the last video on a bit of a cliffhanger. Didn't realise just how long that video was, and I know they can get a little bit boring towards the end, so 50 minutes, yeah, it's rather long. But the next video on the South Africa car will be coming soon. Hopefully it'll be at the dyno for a full session, we will see. But anyway, this video I'm going to get into it and show you what we're working on. So here it is, H-Reg 4x4 Sapphire Cosworth, or as Jeremy Clarkson calls it, a Cosy. Nice thing, pretty tidy, lovely trim in it. Yeah, really nice car. As I said, I fit an engine in this car a couple of months ago due to a pretty catastrophic failure. Now it's done its running miles, he's got some bits he wants to tweak. We're having a problem with the temperature sensor for the clocks. It's under reading, which apparently is quite common on the 4x4 South Cosworth. But anyway, he's bought a new replacement temperature sensor to go in the side of the cylinder head at the back. Pretty awkward to get to because it's behind a dipstick, so not looking forward to that. He's also got an uprated fuel regulator because, as any Cosy owner will know, the original ones have a tendency to fail, split and blow fuel all over the engine bay, along with some uprated fuel line from the reg down to the hard lines, and a new rocker cover gasket because the rocker cover is weeping on this car. So he's purchased a new rocker cover gasket from PJ Motorsport with the genuine Ford half moons. The fuel reg came from Mash Tuning over in Crewe with the fuel line, and again the sensor was from PJ Motorsport. So I'm going to get it on the lift, not done it yet, and get stuck into it. Not a massive job. Oh, something else he wants me to look at. He said when he's driving, the windows open, there's a little squeaking from the passenger rear wheel, he believes. So he said if we could pull the caliper off, just check it over, grease everything, put it back together, providing there's no issues with the caliper, that should be it, and just give it a spanner check over and a bit of a once over, see how it's going now that it's had its running miles. Anyway, I'm going to get it on the lift and get stuck in because I want this one done and out the doors today. We got the bonnet open. As you can see, it's not standard. As you know, my hatred for coloured silicone hoses is strong, and even more so with red. Well, any. For me, it should be all factory. Oh, if you're going to put silicone hoses in, put black ones in there. To be fair, I don't think the owner actually likes the silicone hoses. He was on the car when he got it, but as you know, it can be an expensive thing to replace, and he's got other priorities at the minute. So I think over time he will change these to black. I know he did buy a standard header tank to go in there, but because of the swirl pot, it didn't fit, and he couldn't be bothered with all the faff in, so we just refitted the alloy one. It's also got the alley matching breather catch can on this side. This isn't a standard at Cosy, by the way, so this is greens, 3-bar map sensor. I can't remember if it's got cams in it or not, but it's basically a stage 3 spec. Big alley cooler on there, should be about 330, 350 I think, not sure. I'm pretty sure it's got a different turbo. I'm sure there's printouts for 350 or 360 brake horse, but that was on the old engine. So I know this is going to mass tuning over in Crewe, and they're going to do they're uprating the fuel pump wiring in the back and also setting the engine up as well. It's not been tuned in a long time, and it's also now a different engine. So it makes sense to have it mapped. For the time being, I'm just doing the fuel regulator, replacing this fuel hose and rocker cover gasket, and there is a temperature sensor under the inlet manifold down there, buried. It was a pain to plug in, let alone change, so now I'm gonna have to do some digging and get that swapped out. For the time being, I think I'll start on the rocker cover, so we're going to need to get cam belt cover out the way, because obviously the cam belt cover bolts the 2 bosses, which bolts into the rocker cover. Need to get the cam belt cover out the way, plug leads out the way, some breather hoses, and we can get that rocker cover off. That's the cam belt cover and breathers out the way. Cam belt cover is pretty simple, 2 bolts, 1 bolt. It's got a mounting peg which is on the bottom of the water pump, and then another bolt in the bottom corner right down here. That's out the way. A little bit of a squeeze behind the swirl pot, but we managed it. So next up it's just all these 5mm cap head bolts, and then we can get the rocker cover gasket, well, get the rocker cover off, and then get this gasket swapped. It was relatively straightforward. You can see on this back edge it's really wet. Must have been just weeping on the back. There's some bits as well where it's wet. Obviously, you know, it runs down the cam cover when I'm lifting it off, but the majority of it seems to be on this back edge where it was weeping. So we get the old gasket removed, get it all cleaned up, clean the cylinder head up, make sure all the faces are good, get these half moons out, and get the new gasket in there. So we got all the old gasket removed, which was pretty tough, and cleaned up, nice and dry. Don't want any oil in there whatsoever to affect this. We've got the head cleaned up, and I've just spoke to PJ Motorsport, who supplied the gasket, see if they have any tips, what they recommend, whether they use any sealant or not. And they actually said a couple of blobs of grease on the actual paper gasket to hold it in place, a bead of sealer around the cam cap, and a blob of sealer where the cam cap rubbers, half moons, join up to the paper gasket. So with everything cleaned up, I'm going to start reassembly. So we're just about ready to drop the cam cover on. I put some blobs of grease, along the edges to hold the cam belt. Why can't I talk? To hold the rock cover gasket and seal in place, just so it doesn't move around. The half moons are fitted. I spoke to PJ Motorsport, and this was what they told me to do. A little bead of gasket seal around the cam caps, then drop the half moons on with a couple of little blobs of sealer either end to stop it weeping where it joins to the cork gasket, paper gasket, and then drop the rocker cover on. So I'm going to get the rocker cover on now, and then there's a correct torque sequence which I found online, Graham Good. I think it was either 7 or 11 Newton meters. Start from the centre, work your way out. So I'm going to crack on with that, get it in place, get it all torqued down, and then we can start getting things back in place. Cam belt cover, breathers, plug leads, and that's that job ticked off. That's our cam cover torqued down. So there is a procedure, torque sequence and a torque setting. Torque setting is 10 to 15 Newton meters. Now that to me means 12.5. The torque sequence is start in the centre, work your way outwards in a crisscross fashion. So I started like you would with a cylinder head and worked your way out until you're working around the outside. So I've gone over that. They're all 12.5 Newton meters. Now we can get the plug leads back in, get these plug holes sealed up because I don't like leaving things unsealed while I'm working on an engine. Then it's just a couple of breather hoses. We've got this one at the back which goes on first. Get the tubular clip on that, and then this one just pushes in down here, and then it's just a cam belt cover, and that's that job ticked off. All back together. Breather hoses back on, cam belt cover back on, all done. Eagle-eyed amongst you, or Cosworth fanatics, might have noticed something that's wrong here as well. So this being a 4x4 Sierra Cosworth, I believe this is the wrong colour cam cover. So two-wheel drive Sierra Cosworth, as in Sapphire Cosworth, 3-door Cosworth RS500, had a red cam cover. 4x4 Sierra Cosworth had a green cam cover. Big Turbo Escort Cosworth had a blue cam cover, and the later small turbo Escort Cosworth had a completely different cam cover altogether. So I believe this is the wrong colour. I'm sure someone will jump in the comments and correct me, but I'm pretty sure this should be a green cam belt cover on this car. Guess we'll find out. I'm pretty sure the owner just liked red, hence everything being red. Who knows? Anyway, less of that. Next job is this fuel regulator. So we've got our boost reference, reference pipe, not boost reference. Well, I suppose it is a boost reference to the top, and then obviously our fuel feed and this pigtail coming down to here, and then two 8mm fixings holding it to the fuel rail. So I'm going to whip this off and then see how much of this hose I need to replace. So we got our fuel reg unbolted off we got our boost reference, we got our fuel reg unbolted off the rail, and then the pigtail was on a compression joint. Do yourselves a favour, wear glasses when you do this, because it's just got me. I assumed because I'd unbolt it here, it released the pressure. It turned out when I pulled the, to remove this, there's normally a cap on here, it's been removed at some point. This is just a compression joint. You push that green sleeve in the centre and then pull it out. When I pulled that out, it exploded fuel in my face, which went in my eye and stung a lot. I'm not crying, you're crying. Anyway, that out of the way, I've now measured up, got an idea. I wasn't sure where this wanted to join in, whether it was going to join in where I removed this from, but it turns out if I just pop this down here, this is actually round about the same length. You can see where the end of it is, where this rubber line joins to the steel line. So I'm assuming this is going to replace this whole original line all the way down to the steel joint down there. So I now need to get down there and remove this pipe. I'm not sure what fitting is on there. Need to access it, get it out of the way, and then put in our new piece of braided line and do away with all the original joints and all the original rubber and put in this nice reinforced braided line, so it will not fail. Because if you're not familiar with this, between this hose splitting and this regulator failing, what usually happens is the first time you know it's failed is when there's plumes of smoke coming out from under your bonnet, which at that point is too late, your car's done. I've seen quite a few. I've seen pictures of a 500 that went up on the motorway. Recently I've seen a picture of a Sapphire Cosworth that went up in flames because of the same problem. And yeah, it doesn't matter how fast you are, once a petrol fire starts in an engine bay, you're unlikely to get it put out, that's for sure. So we're just safeguarding this and making sure it doesn't happen here. There we have it. Operated fuel reg, or a safer fuel reg, a billet one, and replace the fuel hose all the way down. You can see that tubular clip there to the steel line, which does away with this joint in the engine bay, if I can find it. This compression joint which pushes into this plastic pipe, and then this plastic pipe, if I didn't drop it, literally just pushes over the steel line. Don't get me wrong, it's barbed, but still not the greatest. And then we have this rubber pipe over it. So now we've done away with all them joints and all them fixings, everything's tubally clipped, tucked away out the way. Job done. The last job, oh no, actually it's not the last job. Last job on the engine is change the coolant temp sensor, which is, can we see it? So this red hose here, just to the left of it behind the dipstick, is the coolant temp sensor for the fuel gauge. I'm tempted to remove this dipstick and tube because it is behind there, and it will certainly simplify things. That 13mm nut will get the dipstick and tube out the way. It should make the job a hell of a lot easier. Now underneath the car, the dipstick tube removed, I'm wondering if you can see it. It is, there it is. Coolant temp sensor. Tucked away right up there. You can see a bit of oil on the little housing there. That must have been from the rocker cover leaking. We can now just about access it. So I need to get up there, unplug it, and then I'll need a 13mm socket to wind it out the head. It's going to drop some coolant, but I've purposely left the header tank cap on in the hope that it creates a little bit of a vacuum and saves me dropping all the coolant. But yeah, that's what we need to do next. Tucked away right up there. So that's our temperature sensor replaced. I don't think that's actually going to fix the problem because it's a black band, which is the same as the one that I've just fitted, which means it's going to be the same rating, if you like, as the one I removed, as the one I fitted. So I can't see that making any difference. We'll just have to see how we go. I know the owner spoke to PJ Motorsport, and they said the 4x4 Cosworth gauge is terrible for reading anyway. I don't know how true that is, but PJ have been doing these cars for a long time, so I'd trust their word. Yeah, we'll just have to see how we go. It's out the way, it's done. Dipstick tubes back in. I'll have to check the coolant level. Other than that, take that job off the list. The next job is remove the passenger rear wheel, because he complained that there's a squeaking, so it probably just wants the sliders or whatnot copper greasing, but we'll check and find out. So sadly I didn't film this part, but it's nothing exciting really. All I did was pull the slider bolts out, pop the caliper back. The caliper isn't all that old actually, but the sliders were a little bit stiff. Pop the sliders out, clean them up, copper grease them so they're moving freely. Copper greased any contact pads on the brake pad, and obviously where they meet in the caliper carrier. That's about it really. Wheel can go back on, test drive. I want to check the levels and test drive, and I think that is everything for this car. I'll have to speak to the owner because I'm not actually 100% sure on the jobs list, but I'm going to whip that back, put that wheel back on, I'll whip it on, put the wheel back on, torque all the wheels again, check them. I've spanner checked under the bonnet, you know, all the suspension and stuff I've had off. Quite happy with everything, nothing seems to have moved. Now it's done some miles. Get this wheel on, torque the wheels, and run it up to temperature. See how we get on, see if it's fixed that fan issue, see if we fixed the oil leak on the rocker cover, and make sure there's no fuel leaks on the pressure regulator. That is it. No fuel leaks. Oil leaks in the rocker cover. Our temperature sensor is taking a correct reading. All seems happy. Need to do a test drive. And that is it for this one. So that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good weekend. If you haven't done so, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.